terribly exciting. That's why we do it.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
New at 11 tonight, the community is taking a stand against a Northside apartment complex. This comes after months of reporting by RTV6's Graham Hunter. He's speaking to another former employee about the Lakeside Point at Nora apartments and finding out what community leaders are doing to hold the ownership of the complex accountable.
Things are starting to change here at Lakeside Point at Nora. The Marion County Public Health Department continues to follow up on existing orders here at the complex. And now community members are coming together, working to make sure that everyone who lives here has a clean and safe living environment.
They're really victimizing these people.
Ruth Hayes is the president of the Nora Northside Community Council Incorporated, a group that focuses on orderly growth and development in Nora. But Hayes is leading the council down a different path.
I wanted to make sure that they were willing to step into a new level of advocacy, and they feel very strongly about it.
She wants to put pressure on the ownership and management of Lakeside Point.
All we can do is just try to build community concern to the point where the owners will have to do something.
The complex was granted tax-exempt status in 2007. A status ownership no longer has to prove it deserves.
That can be appealed.
That's what Hayes is planning to do, to try and pressure the complex to resolve unhealthy conditions inside.
We're not asking for palatial digs.
Hayes just wants the residents, many of whom are refugees and immigrants, to enjoy a basic standard of living free from unsanitary conditions.
They literally would just paint over the mold.
Laura Valadez says she worked for Lakeside Point at Nora for 3 years. She recently quit.
I couldn't take it anymore. It was too much.
Valadez shared pictures with us she took inside apartments while she worked there and says she was forced to move people into apartments she didn't want to.
Last time I transferred someone with the mold, the whole building smells like mold. I felt so bad.
And tells me her orders all came from one man.
It's all coming from the asset manager, Aaron Hirsch.
We got this video of Hirsch leaving the apartments in March. He lives in Lakewood, New Jersey, but several employees have told us he often checks on the property.
The way he talks to people, he's scary. He's a scary man.
Ruth Hayes is hoping someone who will care about the residents of Lakeside Point will take over.
We can put enough pressure on the owners that they either get it cleaned up or sell it to somebody who will.
Reporting from the north side, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
The Marion County Public Health Department says 4 buildings at Lakeside Point at Nora now have hot water after weeks without. The health department is continuing to follow up on, quote, existing orders for the property owner to achieve compliance with those violations. Hopefully you're enjoying the cool breeze and dry night. Want to give you a live look at the flag on top of the One America building in downtown Indianapolis, flapping in the breeze there. Kevin is helping you get ready for the weekend. Kevin.
And how about that, Mark? You mentioned dry night. We had a dry day. Compare that to the month where we had a trace or more of rain on 21 out of 31 days. 79, that was the high in Indy today. Evansville at 81, foreshadowing tomorrow's temperatures. We're still in the middle to upper 60s with dry conditions and the breeze out of the southwest tomorrow morning. A dry start, 62. By the time we get to noon, we'll be pushing the 80-degree mark. We'll settle to about 78. Chance for thunderstorms begins to increase in the afternoon hours. We'll continue to go up from there. These are the high temperatures expected. More on rain timing and what changes arrive for Sunday coming up.
An online petition is in the works to get tornado sirens in Pendleton. The lack of sirens in the town is under a microscope after an EF2 tornado tore through the community Monday. We spoke with people who say they barely had time to take cover.
Well, I just happened to look on Facebook, and if I hadn't have, we probably still would have been upstairs and wouldn't have gone anywhere to take shelter.
Some people say it's an outdated technology, it really doesn't help. Do you think that's true?
No. I think a lot of people would have been warned here that didn't know it was coming.
We took those concerns to Madison County's Emergency Management Authority. Todd Hammerson says that those outdoor tornado sirens are not meant to alert people who are inside. And he says using newer technology like cell phones is a better way to warn people about emergencies.
When there's a tornado, or in this case, it could be any hazard. We use it to notify on hazardous materials. We can use it for weather events or other emergencies going on, where an outdoor warning device, when it goes off, what does that mean? does that mean it's a tornado? Is there something else? We can send specific messages to phones.
To get those emergency alerts from emergency agencies or the National Weather Service, you have to sign up. We have the information on how you can do that on the RTV6 app and at our website, theindychannel.com. A broken down and dangerous fence, a badly damaged roof. RTV6 is getting results for separate homeowners after they reached out for help.
I just need someone to stand behind me to stand up to this and maybe get resolution.
We start at the Sherman Oaks Condominium Division on the south side of Indianapolis, where Roger Sprengler is dealing with a hole in his roof. He says $220 a month for upkeep and maintenance, and he says that he's been bringing the problem to management's attention for a few years, but they won't fix it. He's worried the damage will get worse.
Something else could go wrong. What happens when there's a catastrophic? Well, if the roof caves in on me, then what?
RTV6 spoke with the manager of Sherman Oaks, who said the board of directors is in the process of roof repairs throughout the community, and Rogers will be replaced as early as possible because it's one of the oldest roofs in the community. We'll continue to follow up until Roger gets a resolution. Now to the east side, where a family says a run-down fence is preventing them from enjoying their backyard. The Tate family has a chain link fence around their home. A taller wooden fence surrounds Stony Brook Apartments right next door, but the apartment fence is deteriorating and there are gaping holes in it. Jennifer Tate says what makes this a problem is that kids from the apartment complex try to get into the yard to play on the family's trampoline.
I just want the fence fixed. I want my kids to be able to come out in the backyard and not for us to have to deal with the whole apartment complex trying to get on the trampoline and just cause trouble with us. They've called the police on me. It's just very irritating that my kids can't play in my backyard that's fenced in.
The family says they've talked to workers at the complex there about this issue but are not getting a response. So we talked to the property manager ourselves.
So we have a change next week. And we're hoping that the owners will listen to what we've told them and that we really need a new fence.
How real is the possibility that they'll get you a fence?
I'm not sure yet.
After we spoke to the property manager, our spokesperson for Buckingham Management Group shared new information telling RTV6 the company plans to repair the fence early next week. They say some of the damage is due to recent storms. Metro Police are still searching for a fourth suspect at this hour after a triple shooting on the southwest side. One person died and two others went to the hospital with serious injuries. Investigators found the victims at a gas station at Mooresville and Mills Roads around 2:30 this afternoon. Police say the shooting happened after a fight between people who knew each other. Officers arrested 3 people shortly after getting to the scene. A couple accused in a child abuse case that investigators call one of the most horrific they've ever seen is now charged with murder. 12-year-old Eduardo Paso died last week in Monroe County. His father and stepmother are accused of torturing the boy with a shock collar, chaining him up and starving him. Luis Paso and Diane Medina Flores are being held without bond. IPS has settled several lawsuits related to how the district handles sexual misconduct allegations involving a counselor. In one case, a victim of ex-counselor Shanna Taylor accused IPS of looking the other way and failing to keep students safe. In another lawsuit, 2 employees claim they were wrongfully terminated over that case. The district says the agreements are confidential and that the safety of students is their top priority. A dog that survived severe burns all over his body and other abuse is ready to join a family. Justice was found abandoned in Shelby County in November. The animal shelter is now accepting adoption applications to adopt him.
Dry start to your weekend. We'll talk about an increasing chance for thunderstorms tomorrow and the threat for some strong storms as well.
This is the most devastating day in the history of Virginia Beach.
Another community is in shock after a mass shooting. The latest developments on the Virginia Beach massacre next. Earlier, we shared with you how we help resolve 2 issues for homeowners today. Now, here are some other examples of how RTV6 is working for you. People living in a mobile home community are so frustrated that the potholes in their neighborhood are only getting bigger.
We have to go up in the yards and stuff to go around the potholes. I keep getting told, we're getting to it. We're getting to it.
I reached out to the company. All they would tell me is that all the roads in the property are private and their responsibility.
After our story aired, a spokesman for the company reached out to RTV6 and shared news pictures of the roads with us. Now, saying repaving has started and will continue until all the roads are repaired.
feels it's unfair. She never moved into an apartment complex, but says they're withholding her security deposit.
Deidre Northington didn't step foot into her apartment, but says Indytown Apartments won't return her security deposit. She realized she wasn't able to pay the first month's rent that was due April 1st and asked to push her move-in date to 2 weeks later. She says she was told that wasn't possible and figured she needed to start looking for another place to live.
Did they ever say that they would return the deposit?
Yes. When I talked to Tom, that's when he told me that it would be 21 to 30 business days.
But it's been over a month and a half and still doesn't have her money back. At first, Indytown told me they would never keep a prospective tenant's security deposit. But after checking, it appears they did. They are now going to refund this tenant her money.
News Team 6 helps get the job done.
Only at Value City Furniture.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Police now say 12 people are dead and several are injured in Virginia Beach after a city employee went on a shooting spree in a government building. Investigators say the suspected gunman was shot and killed by officers. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the latest.
Police rushing to a city government building in Virginia Beach, responding to reports of an active shooter.
21 zone gunshot wound 2405 Courthouse Drive. Callers advising of a male in front of building 2, possibly shot.
We heard shooting. But we didn't think it was that close.
Eyewitnesses say scores of workers were inside the city municipal center when police say the gunman walked into building 2 and opened fire shortly after 4 Friday afternoon.
And he immediately began to indiscriminately fire upon all the victims.
The alleged shooter, a longtime employee of public utilities, according to police, was shot and killed in a gun battle with responding officers.
Even though he was involved in a long-term moving gun battle with these officers, when he went down, they did what cops do and they rendered first aid to this individual. He succumbed to his wounds.
This is the most devastating day in the history of Virginia Beach. The people involved are our friends, co-workers, neighbors, colleagues.
Police say they will eventually identify the gunman, but will only mention his name once. After that, officials say he will forever be referred to as the suspect because their focus will be on the victims and their families. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Tariffs on all goods imported from Mexico are set to start on June 10th. That means countless products will be more expensive, from vehicles to washing machines to avocados. President Trump is threatening to increase the tariffs every month up to 25% unless Mexico cuts off all illegal immigration at the border. The White House says these actions come after warning Mexico to do something about the border for months. Some fellow Republicans say there will be collateral damage.
Anybody in this country, or frankly in the world, that says that they're surprised by this has been living under a rock and not paying attention.
It'll have more of an impact on Mexico than on us, but many American businesses, and that means many American workers, could be affected by this.
The economic impact is already being felt in the United States. The Dow took a 350-point hit today. New at 11, celebrating faith and giving back to the community. Tonight at the Al Salam Foundation, a mosque on the north side of Indianapolis, Muslims observe the 27th night of Ramadan. It's considered the most appropriate time of the year to pray for salvation and blessings. In honor of that, the mosque hosted a stem cell registration drive during evening prayer. Participants registered to be donors with a simple cheek swab. There is a growing need for stem cell donors who are of Muslim and South Asian heritage to help people fighting certain types of cancers.
I think it should be important to all faiths. You know, this is a very curable disease, and we do not have a lot of registration across the board. You know, this can happen to any loved one. Being a physician, you know, we have patients as young as 6 months old to 39. It doesn't discriminate. Cancer doesn't discriminate against anybody.
More than 60 mosques across the UK, the US, and India participated in the drive. A place to eat, drink, and play is coming to Johnson County. Dave & Buster's plans to open in Greenwood in the space next to Forever 21 and Dick's Sporting Goods in the Greenwood Park Mall. The location will be the second in Indiana. The other Dave & Buster's is in Indianapolis near Castleton Square Mall. The Greenwood location is set to open next year. A reminder, FedEx is hiring Hoosiers in Central Indiana. You can learn more about job opportunities and apply for positions at a career fair tomorrow. It goes from 9:30 to 3:30 at the facility on Airway Drive near Indianapolis International Airport. FedEx Express hopes to hire around 400 permanent part-time employees. Pay starts at $15 per hour with a minimum 17.5 hours of work per week guaranteed. Day and night shifts are available. The company offers medical benefits and tuition assistance. Recruiting Hoosiers back to the Hoosier State, that's part of the goal of a new technology called TMAP, or Talent Map. TMAP finds people who are from Indiana or went to college in Indiana but moved out of state for work. The technology looks for those people through data science and state-of-the-art marketing to select specific people for Indiana companies. The president and co-founder of an Indiana-based software company called CoVideo has already made several hires using TMAP.
What TMAP's doing, honestly, is, in terms of our interaction, is it's more than just coming in and understanding the positions. I mean, finding the right culture fit, finding the right skill set, I mean, that's all critical, right? But then finding someone that has the family situation, the personality profile to where Indianapolis would be a great spot for them. A native Hoosier is clearly the best place for us to look.
Bill Osterly, the former CEO of Angie's List, is the CEO of TMAP. And to learn more about TMAP, tomorrow's FedEx job fair, or any other Hiring Hoosiers story you see on RTV6, go to hiringhoosiers.com. A fun, family-friendly tradition on the east side continues tomorrow. Summerfest at Little Flower Catholic Church kicked off tonight. You can enjoy rides, games, food, and more. The church is at the corner of Nolan and Beausart Streets. Summerfest goes from 3 to 11 tomorrow and 11:30 to 5 on Sunday. And it should be shaping up to be a great weekend for that, getting out of the house.
They were at the intersection of sunshine and comfortable temperatures
I love
today.
that.
If you were in the downtown area, anytime you are, after an Indians game on a Friday night, you see this.
Ooh, look at that.
Did we speed that up? I think it might have been the grand finale.
Well, that's amazing.
You know, that's why I like every fireworks to just be the grand finale and just flat out go for it. But what a great night at Victory Field. And by the way, they won. They've won 3 in a row, and they lead their division. I was studying up on the Indians, and the season is young. Temperatures tomorrow will be in the 80s. Warmest day in the 7-day forecast will cool down a little bit as we get to Sunday and Monday. But Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, 3 straight dry days, much needed dry days on the way. Tomorrow, our thunderstorm chances will increase after 4, but I don't think they'll peak until between 7 and 11, the most likely time for thunderstorms. Noticeably cooler on Sunday, but it will also be dry at 71. Tomorrow, temperatures by the time we get to late morning, close to noon, pushing 80 degrees into the low 80s in the afternoon with the increasing chance for thunderstorms. First north, then into central Indiana. And as I mentioned, in most cases, I think after 7 o'clock is when the real chances start to fire up. That wind tomorrow out of the southwest, 15 miles per hour. It will slowly swing around to the west. And then on Sunday, it will be a north wind. And that north wind will keep our temperatures below average. Tomorrow, though, around 80 to the north. Clouds will increase first, then your thunderstorm chances. Thunderstorms will arrive last, I think, south of Indianapolis, about 83. Temperature in the metro area within a couple degrees of 80. As you look at tomorrow's map, first thing in the morning, we're dry through the afternoon. Most areas dry. This is 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Ahead of the cold front, you begin to see more numerous thunderstorms and the potential for strong to severe storms along the frontal boundary. Damaging wind and large hail would be the main threat, still ongoing at 1 a.m. Then that will push to the south and east, and we'll be left with a nice Sunday. There's your risk. A little higher risk in western Indiana for severe storms than in the eastern portion of the state, and the timing tomorrow night. Sunday, a nice day. Great way to end the weekend. Of course, the first weekend of June. Temperatures struggle to hit 70 degrees. From north to south, there are your temperatures anticipated with more in the way of sunshine. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, slow warming trend. We're still dry Monday, Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, chance for thunderstorms. We'll continue that chance for thunderstorms as we get to Thursday and Friday. Want to point out one more thing. Monday morning, the temperature will be at 49 degrees. That will be comfortable.
A cool spot there. All right, thank you, Kevin, for that. Well, the IndyCar Series will end May and start June in Detroit. A pair of races on tap this weekend. Dave First is back on the road. He's got more on one driver who's looking for some redemption after Indy.
Well, with all due respect to the Indianapolis 500, the season-long battle for the points championship begins at Belle Isle, especially if you're Alexander Rossi. That story coming up from Detroit. here on RTV6.
Toyota, let's go places. Let's head up to Detroit. IndyCar practicing at Belle Isle today ahead of this weekend's doubleheader. The second session saw Simon Pagenaud tag the wall just before time expired. His Team Penske crew would have some work to do on the back end of that car. The Indy 500 champ had been 9th best on the day before the red flag. Alexander Rossi had the best lap of the afternoon. He was more than a half second better than everyone. Joseph Newgarden and Scott Dixon next behind him. Will Power was 4th. Graham Rahal 5th. He won both Detroit races a year ago, and Ryan Hunter-Reay rounding out the top 6. Dave First with more now from what should be an interesting IndyCar weekend.
Well, it's a sure sign of spring in Detroit. The newly renovated Scott Fountain has been turned on, and yeah, that's the sound of race cars around Belle Isle, ready to go for a twofer for the IndyCar Series, and no one's more ready than Alexander Rossi. After a hard-fought near win in the Indy 500 just last Sunday, that second-place finish means he's just 1 point behind in the season-long championship, trailing, of course, the 500 winner in Simon Pagenaud. I love this. It was a difficult Sunday, but your crew's still maintaining a sense of, I don't know.
It's delirium.
Delirium. Yes. Probably well needed after everything you've been through, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's honestly, people talk about how it's hard for us, kind of the month of May into the double header in Detroit and Texas, and honestly, it's way worse for these guys. Yeah. So the effort that they have to put in to turn the cars around, to get here days early, stay days late to prep them and everything is crazy. So very thankful that they're still awake at this point.
And this is pretty cool. A fan came up, gave you a little drawing.
Oh, yeah.
It says you're still his champ. How cool is that?
Oh, it's amazing. I think I'm a big fan of penguins, first of all, so that's great. And then they got my dog in there, but no, it's cool. I mean, obviously, it was a disappointing Sunday for us, but at the end of the day, the response, people seem to love the race, which is great for the sport as a whole, for the NTT IndyCar Series, and then obviously for us to be able to put on a show with Simon was fantastic. Unfortunately, we just came up a little bit short.
Dating back to last year, Rossi's won 3 of the last 11 IndyCar Series races, the last one coming a month ago at Long Beach. But that month, well, it might as well have seemed like a year for him. He's ready to go in this twofer here in Detroit. Day first, RTV6 Sports.
The Pacers are hosting the Junior NBA Midwest Regional this weekend at Grand Park Fieldhouse. The top 13 and 14-year-old boys and girls teams competing for a spot in the first ever Junior NBA Global Championships. Those will be in Orlando in August. Pool play continues on Saturday at Grand Park. The regional finals will be on Sunday afternoon in Westfield. And the NBA Finals continue Sunday night on RTV6. Game 2 between the Warriors and Raptors. Coverage from Toronto starts with NBA Countdown at 7:30 and the game at 8 o'clock. Followed all by the news at 11. Toronto trying to take a 2-0 lead in the best-of-7 series. Time for one more break. We're back to finish the news at 11 next.
Only on RTV6.
Good night to May, and we'll say hello June tomorrow. We'll start in the low 60s. Afternoon temperatures tomorrow, as we mentioned, in the 80s. So we jump about 20, 23 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Thunderstorm chances increase after 4, but it's really tomorrow night, probably 7 to 11, the best chance for thunderstorms.
All right, welcome to June. June's busting out all over. We're done here.
It was a long month, wasn't it?
It was a long month. So, summertime just around the corner. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Have a good evening, everybody.